Cooper Kupp just signed the largest guaranteed contract in the history of wide receivers in the NFL. 3 years, $75 million guaranteed. 3 years, $80 million in total. It's an extension. There's 5 years on that. I assume they're playing a little salary cap gymnastic with cash over cap situation because Kroenke has all the money. Last year, obviously, he led the NFL in receptions with 178. Receiving yards, 2,425. Yards after catch, which doesn't get talked about. Everybody talks about the triple crown of receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns, which he did lead as well at 22. Yards after catch, 846. Led the NFL in all 4 of those stats last season. Became the Super Bowl MVP. He is an absolute dog. This guy is a stud because normally the yak leader doesn't have the deep ball touchdowns and everything like that. So to be able to be this big of a playmaker at all times, he obviously signed a new contract, the highest guaranteed contract in the history of wide receivers in the NFL, in a Matthew Stafford jersey. Ooh. Basically saying thank you to that Detroit legend, right, Foxy?
Yes, sir.
I love it. This is great news for the Rams, and it continues to prove our point that the salary cap is a fugazi. The salary cap might be real to the broke owners, okay? Mm-hmm. You little broke-ass billionaires, okay? You can't do anything. But to the wealthy owners, those who have cash on hand, the ability to put the money up front and into escrow, I believe, to hold on for the guarantees, they will continue to profit and benefit from this, just like Kroenke has with the Rams. Kupp, an absolute game wrecker, is back with the Rams for at least 3 more years, as is Matthew Stafford, and you would assume Sean McVay as well. What a signing, AJ Hawk.
I mean, he has to be super thankful that Matthew Stafford came there. They seem to have a great rapport from day one, and we hear about them coming into the facility at 4:45 in the morning and going over and watching every possible rep they can and studying the defenses. So when you listen to Cooper Kupp, I know I mentioned on the show, when they talked to him after one of their games, a Sunday night, whatever it was, I don't know what he explained exactly the coverage, what they were doing, what we were supposed to do, what I was supposed to do, my adjustment. And he was so nonchalant and just casual about it. I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand why you throw that dude the ball almost every play.
When he gave that answer, that I think is what led to us learning about him and Matthew Stafford, watching film at 5 a.m. every single morning, because somebody had to speak like, yeah, Matthew Stafford speaking the same language as Cooper Kupp, which is the most efficient and beneficial weapon that you can have in football, is when the wide receiver and the quarterback don't have to say anything to each other and everybody knows exactly what's going on here. The offensive line doesn't have a fucking clue what's about to happen. The other wide receivers might not have a clue what's about to fucking happen. Running back got no idea what's about to happen. But the ability to make an audible on the fly because of what you've seen in film, what you've seen on the practice field, what you've seen in the walkthrough, it's Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes thing, right?
Yeah.
Where they see something and what the play was designed to do. Travis Kelce early in the game, hey, if we do that again, I'm just going to stay straight as opposed to dropping in. I think it's wide open. And then all of a sudden in the middle of the game, do it, Travis, do it. And Travis has told a story. He's like, hey, shut the fuck up, almost. Yeah. And then Aaron Rodgers has told a story about Davante Adams where they just look at each other and it's like, yep, we're doing this. Cooper Kupp and Stafford were able to do that in less than a year. And I think it's because of all the amount of time that they spent together. Yeah, I think he said it was cover 2. They kind of showed like a cover 2, then it became cover 0. Then the safety kind of crashed down, and I took my out to a post or something. Like, I forget the exact breakdown. You're 100% right. What a lucky find for the Rams. And I'm not saying lucky because Cooper Kupp didn't put in all the work and everything like that. I'm just saying lucky because there ain't no way anybody predicted Cooper Kupp to fucking be what he has become in the NFL other than Cooper Kupp and his family. Congrats on getting the highest guarantee in the history of wide receivers. That's fucking awesome.
Well, and the craziest part about the entire thing is with this Donald extension and the Cooper Kupp extension, they actually created cap room. Like now they're
for OBJ.
For OBJ. Like they're going to be able to bring him in. They obviously signed Allen Robinson in the offseason, who's a stud, and they still have Van Jefferson. It's crazy how good they are.
When it came to guaranteed money, he is now at $75 million guaranteed, which is 3 years. Tyreek Hill, $72.2. Diggs at $70. Davante Adams, $65.6 million. Hey, no, Davante's probably going to earn all the bonuses and incentives in his entire thing. But whenever that contract happened, do you remember us shitting our pants?
Oh, yeah.
The Davante Adams deal we thought was big. Then Diggs sticks around with Buffalo somehow. We were thinking he's maybe going to Dallas to play with his brother. Tyreek Hill gets the trade and a big payday from Miami, and now Cooper Kupp on top of it. These numbers are only yodely.
Who's next?
Debo.
DK Metcalf, Debo Samuel.
Terry.
More than 75 guaranteed?
No.
Who's next to top this?
This dude just came out as Super Bowl MVP. This is what the teams are saying to the players that are like DK Metcalf's agent is telling him, well, here's the new standard. This is what the going rate is for a number one or whatever. And DK Metcalf's agent is going to sell DK Metcalf exactly how DK Metcalf is. This guy's big. This guy he's gotten better every single year. He made this team better. He's beloved here. He loves this place. He got quiet whenever you guys said, hey, we're not trading him. Like there was no conversation in there. But the team's going to come back and say, the guy that got paid that was a Super Bowl MVP. He led the NFL in the Triple Crown of yards, receptions, and touchdowns, and yards after catch. So when you can present that, okay, to us, we will pay the same exact. That's what the team will say. Exactly what the team will say. But I think the agents and the wide receivers are like, no, this is just how it goes now. This is what it's going to cost to play ball with a good wide receiver.
Yeah, when you look at his numbers, I mean, 178 receptions, that's so many catches
1 year.
On the year. Like, as long if Cooper Kupp can stay somewhat healthy, I mean, how do you stop this offense? Honestly, what are you supposed to do? They have so many weapons, and this guy alone, I feel like, creates so many issues for defenses. I mean, the Rams, they're doing it right now. They're kicking the can down the road, as people want to say, but guess what? It's working right now.
The Rams have been able to sign Stafford to a 4-year, $160 million deal. Cooper Kupp to a 5-year, $110 million deal. Aaron Donald, a 3-year, $95 million deal. Bobby Wagner to a 5-year, $50 million deal. Allen Robinson, 3 years, $46.5 million deal. This tweet coming from Field Yates, all this offseason after winning a Super Bowl, and they haven't even brought back OBJ yet, which they will end up doing, who they found a way to pay him money last year. The salary cap is only real to the owners that don't have as much money as the other owners and want to use it as an excuse. Let me ask you about the Cooper Kupp thing, because it felt like you wanted to break the news, but you didn't know all the details. So you said, like, hey, coming soon. It feels like there will be a deal with Cooper Kupp north of $20 million amongst all the other highest paid wide receivers in the NFL, which he rightfully deserves. How long, and you alluded to this, I think, like a week ago with us, or maybe earlier in the week with us. I forget the exact time. You're like, Cooper Kupp deal probably coming soon. How long has this been in the works? And $75 million guaranteed is the most all time at the position. That's great news. I feel like that's how they pitched it to Cooper Kupp whenever they sold him on this deal.
Yeah, so receiver contracts are like impossible to figure out because you have like, let's say Tyreek Hill at 30, but the last year is so big. It's figuring out where he is among the highest paid is hard, but he did very well. And this is a really good deal for him. I think as far as when this was going on, so probably like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks before the Aaron Donald deal was done, they started working on Cooper Kupp. So basically simultaneously, I had a pretty good sense, I would say yesterday morning, that it was going to happen. And then when I reported what I did, which was, the two sides have made significant progress, a deal could come today. It was basically with the understanding that a deal was coming probably tonight, but wasn't quite finished. And just judging from all the factors, how far along it was that a deal was happening, I decided to report it like right then rather than wait for like okay, it's done. That's basically it.
Yeah, you don't want to get scooped there, right?
Do not want to get scooped, yes.
Oh, good play by you, Ian.
Wow, look at you.
That's like the classic. That's like the classic. Put the eyeballs out when something's about to happen, and then it does happen. Just letting everybody know we knew about this beforehand.